Hey guys, Man here for another late night deck profile. And I just actually finished testing this deck with a friend. Shout out to Tiger Dragonzord. We just finished doing some crazy tests. I was testing against their Dorbic deck. That thing is really scary, but this deck has been just doing some crazy things. As you guys can see from the title, we are finally looking at the hero deck. This deck just recently came out in World Convergence, BT21, and it's actually recently been getting tops here in the English format, specifically in the Dallas Mesquite Regional, I believe. There were also a few other ones. I believe one in Italy had actually two tops as well. And I know for a fact that a lot of people have been saying that in Asia, it's actually been doing pretty well because it's a really good, like, best of one, like, high roll deck. And surprisingly, after testing this deck out, it is insanely good. Like, it doesn't, as we were talking about it on the Discord, the best way to sum it up is the fact that it doesn't sound good on paper, but in execution it's actually really really good. Like, it's better than I would say. Like, okay, like, perfect example, I just rebuilt Hunters. Hunters is a very good deck. Like, we all know, we've played it, we've played against it. It can go really fast. This deck can go faster than Hunters, and that's actually pretty crazy. And I know a lot of decks can do that already, but the fact that this deck can output like 3 checks on turn 2 is just insane. The fact that it can actually outspeed Sakuya, like, if you manage to get the perfect stack on turn 2, you can just kill them. It's actually really crazy how strong this deck is. But yeah, let's actually get into the deck profile so I can show you what I'm talking about. For the eggs, we only run one, and that's the only hero egg, or egg that has hero in its traits currently, which is Gurimon. Gurimon is actually kind of crazy. Um, just how the card, like, works is pretty basic. It's just when attacking once per turn, if this Digimon has Gamamon or Hero in its traits, you get to draw one. Very simple, but that extra draw can potentially help you win the game because you can draw into the Gaiamon or Dogachmon or whatever card that helps you go for a game. So this guy is kind of crucial at a 4 of copy. For rookies, we run 4 different rookies, but they all have hero in their traits, so they're all easily searched by their own effects and other stuff that we'll be running. Especially because this is a red-based deck, so you can run red trainings, red memory boosts, red scrambles. You can run all those because everything is compatible except for one tamer, which is the Tai tamer from Adventure, but that's because he is a pure mono white color version, so that's why. But aside from that, every other tamer can be hit by the red training. But yeah, so for the rookies, we run the 4 VMons because this VMon is actually the one that you do want to see as often as possible. It's why I was running 4 copies. I know some builds run maybe 3 or less, but this guy getting you that reduction in evolution into a hero is really crucial. And almost all the rookies, except for Guilmon, have the inherit of your turn. This guy gets plus 2,000. On some turns, I've actually been able to make my level 5 like 23,000. It's kind of crazy how big these guys can get, especially if you go into superior mode. You can make your guys so big that they can't be popped, which is really cool. But yeah, you run 4 of the Vmon. Then, as I mentioned, we are running 4 of the Guilmon. This one is mainly to trash hero cards that we don't need, that we can grab back with a Gunimon. And on deletion, we gain 1, but mainly when you discard, you're using that to kind of search and draw 2, which is really cool. The fact that you can set up a rookie and get an extra draw is really strong. Then we run 3 of the Gumdramon. Gumdramon is basically Guilmon, but it's more specific, specifically with cards with save or hero in their traits. So you can hit a lot of stuff, but the main thing is that Guilmon does give you that extra memory, which I value a little bit more because they're gonna try and kill your guy. So by them trying to destroy it, you get that extra memory where you can go for a game next turn. Compared to this, where you only get the plus 2,000. So I opted to reduce it down to 3. Plus, I only had 3 copies, so I just went with it. Then we run, of course, two Gatchmons. Gatchmon is just kind of here because he can be searched by hero, but mainly it's because it's for the link with Globemon. That's mainly the thing. And if not, if you don't get into Dogatch, you can link with this into your Gaiamon to help kind of set it up. And the fact that it gives plus 2,000 and raid is actually kind of crucial because when swinging with Gaiamon, you can actually raid into their biggest guy, and you should have boosted him at least up to like 20,000 by that point. So you can basically kill anything, which is really cool. But yeah, that's basically all the rookies we run. As you can see, we are running 11 and plus 2 more, so that's like 13 rookies. So it's actually one over the normal limit, but it's actually pretty good because that way you can consistently see them. Usually I see Vmon or Guilmon, but there are occasions where I see Getch and or him instead, but both of them are pretty decent to evolve, so not too bad. For level 4s for champions, we of course run 4 of the Agunimons. This Agunimon is honestly broken. It is the most broken card in this deck because you can either so for those that don't know what it does, first off, it can evolve on top of any level 3 red for 2 cost, and then on top of a tamer, same 2 cost. But the main thing is that when digivolving, you can place a hybrid or hero trait Digimon card from your hand or trash as this guy's bottom source. And was it or underneath any of your red tamers with inherited effects. When attacking, this Digimon may digivolve into a red hybrid or hero trait. Either you can swing and digivolve for a cheaper cost, so you basically digivolve for 2 when swinging, or you can equip and boost your guy and just go into your guy regardless without doing that. So he's essentially kind of like, the best way to sum it up is that he's kind of like a mini War Growlmon from the Megidramon deck, except that he only does a reduction of 1 only permanently. That's it. He cannot go higher than that. But the fact that he can do that is already pretty crazy because you can you can digivolve for like no cost off of the Vmon, go to like 2, then you swing and you go, okay, pass to 3, and you put them at 1 while popping their board and punching through with Raid, especially with Superior mode, or popping their guy and swing for 2 checks with Globemon. So it's actually pretty insane. You have to run 4 copies of this. He is crucial in the deck. Then we run 4 of the Arrestodramons because just like the Kabuterimon and Angemon in Adventure, this guy helps us play out a Tamer card with Hunter or Hero trait from our hand without paying the cost. On deletion, obviously, we get to save, but the fact that we can Digicross with something with save in its text, which is pretty strong. But mainly it's that you want to digivolve into this guy for cheap so that you can swing and get draws and just kind of set up and do more damage. Then, of course, for the last level 4, we run 3 Dogachmons. As I mentioned, this guy is mainly here to equip onto Gaiamon, so you want to usually keep him in hand. I've won a lot of matches where I just draw into him, and then I just go, okay, Gaiamon, equip, swing for game, trash their top security, okay, swing again, game. And you mainly just want him for that. That's all for the level 4s. As you can see, we only run 11, but you see them pretty often, so yeah. For level 5s, I don't have enough Arrestodramons, but I do run 3 copies of the Superior mode. This new one is just cracked. The fact that he gets 1,000 for everything underneath, and if you do it correctly, you should boost him up to at least 20,000 every single time. And then the fact that when digivolving, he can just attack immediately, and he can do raid and piercing. So you can just swing into their biggest guy and go, okay, well, you have partition, but that ain't going to help you. So against like blue-green Imperial or anything that has partition, you just go, well, he's dead. I don't care. And then, of course, you get to attack without suspending. So you get to do that check, kill their guy, and then check another one, and then digivolve it into Gaiamon. So you're getting 3 to 4 checks in total with that one swing, which is really insane. So you have to run at least 3 or 4 copies of this. As I mentioned, I only have 3 copies, so I opt for 3. And then, of course, we run 3 of the Globemons because Globemon is really cool. The fact that you can digivolve into this with the Agunimon is pretty cool because you can make this into a 3-cost Evo. It has security attack +1 by default, and then on play when digivolving, you may link 1 level 4 or lower card from your hand or this Digimon's sources to this Digimon without paying the cost. And when you do that, you get to delete something with the same amount of DP or less. And with how this deck can boost high enough, you can basically kill anything in this game, which is really cool. That's all for level 5s. For level 6s, we only run 2. We run the 3 Gaiamons from the Atmon deck because he can just basically, he's our OTK basically. He wins us the game. And the fact that he's a blocker and he can increase the link. So if you already have 1 linked, you can add 1 more link with him to basically go for game. Also, the fact is that I mentioned when it when it links with something, it unsuspends and trashes the security. So with Dogach, in his link effect where you can immediately attack, you basically just put them at 0 and you punch for game. Then, of course, we run one copy of Gallimon from BT13 because a lot of decks do like to make really big guys, and we do fill up our trash pretty fast, especially against like Megidramon. This can actually like clutch and wipe out their guy before they can really do anything. So running one of him, this guy's interchangeable, but I like running this one. You can run either this one, you can run the promo one, you can run Medieval, but having a one of is actually really good because you can basically draw it off of a lot of their draw effects. Then we go into the options. For the options, we of course, this being a red based deck, we run 4 offense trainings because we want to just search as much as possible. Then we run 2 red memory boosts. You can boost this up one more, but 2 I feel is already pretty comfortable because you already have 4 trainings in the deck. Then 1 fire rocket because that way if we don't get Glowmon, we can make this guy do even more checks, which is really crazy. And yeah, that's basically all for the options. As you see, we're not really running that many, but they're mainly ones for searching and or basically going for game. For tamers, we are running, of course, the best ones, which is 4 taggers from the new hero set. So this guy is really cool. Start of your main phase, you can place a Digimon underneath it. You get +1 memory and you get to draw. And then anytime if you were to Digivolve into anything with hero, you can suspend him and take a source underneath him and decrease it by 1, just like the old Tigeru. But in this case, it's specifically for both heroes and hunters, so it's actually pretty cool. Then we run 2 of the heroes because of the fact that he can also gain us a memory. If your opponent has a Digimon, you gain a memory by default. And then whenever you place anything underneath, so this guy works with Aguni and Tigeru, so you get to go, okay, cool, and then I get to gain an extra memory and draw a card, which is like really powerful. If you have both of these on the field, you're basically guaranteed to gain 2 memory that turn. Then we run 1 Takuya because, of course, you can Digivolve this on top of this. But the main thing is just the start main phase. One of your Digimon or Tamers may Digivolve a Digimon card with the hybrid and or hero trait in hand. For each of your red Tamers with different names, you can reduce the cost. So if you're already Digivolving for 2 and you have like these 2 out already, it's basically a 0 cost into a Goonie or a hero type. So it's actually, or into the Aguni specifically. So really cool. But the thing is that we have to have other tamers and we have to have a hybrid. So we only keep this as 1. So, you know, it's just there. Then, of course, we run, as I mentioned, we are running 2 of the ties from Adventure because he basically helps set our memory and the fact that when you attack, you can suspend and draw an extra card. So the cool thing is mainly, you don't use him for the other effect. You mainly just use him for the your turn attack where, you know, you get to draw a card. But anyway, this deck is just insane. Like, this deck looks dysfunctional. Like, genuinely, it looks dysfunctional. It is not. It is actually really coherent, very consistent too, because I've been able to basically just keep going. And the best part is that it can grab stuff from trash or your hand to equip. So, you know, unlike, you know, as I mentioned with Galactic, like sometimes like you can have a Venmon in hand and you can't get rid of it unless you have something to discard it, which is where the BT18 Zenith comes in. But with this, it's like, oh cool, I Digivolve and I get to do it regardless. So you don't always have to have a guy in trash. You can do it from hand as well, which is really cool. So really insane that this deck can even honestly function, but the fact that it can proves how strong it is. And honestly, I want people to give this deck a chance. I gave it a chance and I had fun. That's the main thing. This deck is very fun. It's actually competitive now with the fact that it's been topping consistently in both regions. The fact that it's actually not that hard to get this deck. I think the most expensive thing in this entire thing would be the Gaiamons currently. And possibly the Glowmons, but even then, I don't think it's that bad. Everything else is honestly like super dirt cheap. So you should be able to get this. Just you could literally get this for I think like less than $80 honestly. Like even with the Gaias I think they've dropped down to at least less than 20. So I think at least 80 or less you can build this deck for super cheap. So it's an under $100 deck, which is really cool because along with this and Megidra, I feel like these 2 are probably going to be the new standouts, especially now that people are figuring out that this deck is really good currently. The fact that it's managed to win recently is actually going to be good for it because then people will start looking towards it and seeing it as a viable option to deal with control decks like Royal Knights. Like this deck surprisingly has a really good matchup with Royal Knights because of the fact that it's so fast and you don't really care if your stack dies because next turn you just make another stack and you just go off and you set up and then you go, okay, I'm just going to swing for all the security, and if you don't have the ace to stop me, I basically win the game. So they basically can't respond because by turn 3 you should have lethal and have them dead by that point. And roll knights cannot keep up with that speed. It is literally impossible to keep up with that. So pretty strong. Aside from that, as usual, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you thought of the deck, and I'll see you guys next time.